Welcome to Trump Watch Unfiltered Narratives. Today, we're diving deep into a story that's not just making headlines, it could be rewriting the rules of global politics as we know it. So here's the big question we're tackling today. Is the international system we've known for decades actually holding Donald Trump in check, or is he successfully sidestepping it to build his own new world order? To figure this out, we're going to connect the dots between 5 key stories, all pulled straight from recent reports. Let's get into it. All right, our first story kicks off at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Now, for Trump, this wasn't just about shaking hands and photo ops. No, this was the stage, the launchpad for a move that challenges the entire global structure as we know it. So what actually went down in Davos? Well, Trump dropped a bombshell. He unveiled a brand new international body, calling it the Board of Peace. And let's be clear, this isn't some friendly group meant to help the United Nations. Oh no, it's designed to be a direct alternative to it. Its first goal, to take the lead on massive global conflicts, like the one in Gaza. But here's where it gets really fascinating. Ireland's leader, the Taoiseach Michael Martin, came out and said he was very anxious to contribute. This, while pretty much all the other traditional allies were, immediately skeptical.
So what we're really looking at here is a fundamental clash of worldviews. It's like you've got two completely different operating systems for the world. On one side, you've got the United Nations, the old, established institution built on the UN Charter and this idea of collective security. And on the other, you've got Trump's Board of Peace, a brand new Trump-led structure built for fast, direct deal-making that just, it bypasses all that traditional diplomacy. The bottom line is, it's forcing countries to pick a side.
And that choice got a whole lot harder really fast. Because the first big move from this new board, it sent absolute shockwaves across the West. What was the shockwave? An invitation. An invitation was sent to Vladimir Putin to join the board. You can imagine the reaction. Almost instantly, critics slapped a pretty damning label on the whole thing, calling it a club of autocrats. And yeah, that's a direct quote you can find on page 14 of the reports. The backlash, as you'd expect, was immediate and fierce. Over in Ireland, the Tawny state, Simon Harris, didn't mince words, warning of very serious red flags. We're also seeing reports where other officials are calling the board narcissistic. And for most of the EU, well, Putin's involvement basically made the whole thing politically toxic. Which, raises a pretty obvious question, right? How can a board of peace claim any credibility when it's inviting a leader who's under intense international scrutiny for waging war? And that toxicity, well, it's doing exactly what you might think it would. This Putin invitation isn't just making diplomats uncomfortable, it's actively splitting the European Union's usually united front on foreign policy. You can almost see the crack forming right down the middle of the European alliance. While most of the EU establishment basically said no thanks to Trump's board, his plan started to find some traction. He's successfully finding allies, creating these fractures in what's supposed to be a solid wall. And this chart really lays it out in black and white. You can see the vast majority of the EU, they rejected it. But look over here. 2 countries broke ranks. We're talking about Hungary and Bulgaria. They've both shown support for Trump's initiative. So what does this mean? It means Trump is proving he can drive a wedge straight through the heart of Europe. And countries like Ireland, they are caught right in the middle of this tug of war. So Trump is basically putting European unity to the ultimate stress test. And the million-dollar question now is, are more countries going to follow Hungary and Bulgaria's lead? Are they going to peel away from the official EU line? Honestly, right now, the outcome is anyone's guess. Okay, let's zoom in now. We've seen the international picture, but let's bring this story right back home to Ireland. Because that ripple effect we've been talking about, it's not a ripple anymore, it's a tidal wave, and it's crashed right into Dublin, sparking a full-blown political crisis. Just look at this. You've got the 2 top leaders in the Irish government publicly contradicting each other. You have the Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, who's basically keeping the door open, saying he's anxious to contribute. But then you have his number 2, the Taoiseach, Simon Harris, who's out there waving serious red flags and saying Putin's involvement just does not sit well. I mean, this isn't just a behind-the-scenes disagreement. It's a huge public split over how Ireland is supposed to deal with the Trump era. And you better believe the stakes are sky high. This is way more than just a simple disagreement. It has blown open a massive rift on foreign policy, and it's making the government look completely divided on the world stage. Even more seriously, this kind of fundamental clash, it could threaten the very stability of the coalition government itself. Okay, so you've got all these different threads, right? Trump's new board, the Putin invitation, a split EU, a civil war in the Irish cabinet. Well, all of it, every single thread, is now leading to one single place, a high-stakes meeting that's shaping up to be a real showdown.
So let's walk through the countdown to this massive decision. First, you've got Ireland's cabinet, totally divided. Then you have the EU, completely split. And then the main event, the Taoiseach, is scheduled to visit the White House. And this isn't just a friendly visit. The reports are calling it a showdown, the moment where Ireland will be forced to make a final call.
And this is where we get to the ultimatum. The number one topic on the agenda for that White House visit is simple. Is Ireland officially signing up for the Board of Peace or not? And talk about being between a rock and a hard place. If they join, they risk damaging their entire history of commitment to the UN Charter. But if they say no, they risk huge political fallout with the US president. Make no mistake, this one decision is going to define the future of the US-Ireland relationship. Okay, so after all that, let's pull back. Let's connect all these dots and get back to that huge question we asked at the very beginning. Is the system holding Trump back, or is he actually building something new? Let's just look at the ripple effect. Trump's border peace has thrown a direct challenge at the UN. It has successfully split the European Union, and it's pushed the Irish government into a full-on crisis. And the person at the center of it all, Donald Trump, he comes out of this empowered, having shown that he really can bypass the entire established international system. So what's the big takeaway here? The North Star? It's this. We've moved past the point where Donald Trump is just breaking the rules. What we're seeing now suggests he's actually writing a whole new rulebook. So I have to ask you, what do you think is going to happen at that White House showdown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you think. That's it for this episode of Trump Watch Unfiltered Narratives. Stay tuned for more.